The Rose. She is beautiful and dazzling. Rosa, my lovely wife. Chapter 20. It didn't take the media long to find out we were home and make a three-ring circus out of it. By Saturday afternoon, just 2 days after our return, Mama had to call Special Agent Gonzalez to come deal with the media crews. They had been spinning themselves into frothy femish frenzy like bloodthirsty piranhas in front of our house all morning. It wasn't easy getting rid of them, though. We actually had to give an official interview to get rid of the lot. One local news crew was allowed to set up their camera equipment in our living room. Special Agent Gonzalez guided the discussion, looking like he belonged in our house. He sat right next to Mama on the couch, their hands almost touching as they answered questions about our disappearance and return. Seeing Mama acting so coy and proper on the sofa next to Special Agent Gonzalez had been enlightening to say the least. We'd never seen Mama act so feminine with anyone other than Papa. He probably wouldn't have liked seeing her act so demure. But what was even more surprising was finding Special Agent Gonzalez waiting for us outside of the Sacred Heart Church the next morning. I saw him before he saw us, standing at the church door in his white pinstriped shirt, with his hands in the pockets of his gray slacks. He looked like a male model straight out of Sears catalog, next to an older man kind of way. Nothing any of us would have found exciting, but definitely someone nice and suitable for Mommy. We were cutting across William Street in San Luis Elementary when he turned around and saw us. He waved, and Peta absolutely lit up as she waved back at him. He left the door to come meet us halfway up the sidewalk, and Mama, looking beautiful in her blue Sunday dress with the ruffled neckline, seemed surprised to see him there. She took the hand he offered and shook it modestly, saying, Buenos dias, God be with you. Villa nugged me as we followed the crowd inside, close behind them. What's he doing here? I don't know, I said, trying to keep my voice to a soft murmur. Velia, ribbing me again. I guess he goes to church here now? I think he likes Mama, Delia whispered. I tried not to read too much into perhaps the most promising thing to happen to us in a very long time. Maybe it's just a coincidence. A coincidence? Juanita asked from behind me. Maybe, but quite fortuitous, don't you think? Speak English. I didn't bring my dictionary, Delia warned, turning to Juanita. Shush, I said, as we entered the church doors and took in the sights and the sounds of our local parish. We hadn't been to church as a family in a very long time, so it made sense that we didn't know Special Agent Gonzalez was part of our neighborhood congregation. Given our recent journey and Mama's assurance that we were indeed under the protection of the Virgin, we had a newfound appreciation for the religious relic that surrounded us, making the experience doubly profound for us. Juanita, the twins, and I were especially drawn to the statue of the Virgin de Galupa displayed in the nook to our left. We left Mama standing just inside the door, holding Peta's hand, chit-chatting with Special Agent Gonzalez. Together, we paid homage to the Virginita, our mother in heaven, and our very own protector by lighting 5 small candles, one for each of us. Remembering the warmth and love she had bestowed upon us on the hill, I reached up and caressed the Virgin's glorious blue garb, tracing the embroidered stars delicately with the tips of my fingers. She had done so much for us, but I suspected there was still unfinished business between us. I knelt beside the twin at the cushioned pew before the Virgin and said a special prayer just for Mama. It was then that I noticed them, the white, blushing roses sitting in a clear crystal vase among an array of their colorful counterparts. Red, yellow, pink, and orange roses, all in their own splendid vases, were kept fresh by the older ladies in the neighborhood who spent their days at the misa, dusting the many altars and freshening up the flowers. But even with the knowledge of the special care those ladies took with the flowers, I could tell that these white roses were not grown in one of our own gardens. No, these roses were special. They were too crisp, too fresh, too pure and white to be anything but from the same rose bush as the ones I'd given Mama. But they weren't hers. I touched the petals of Mama's bouquet as we left the house that morning and marveled at how fresh and perfect they still looked after 3 days of sitting in a vase at the kitchen table. No, someone else in the congregation had been blessed with these roses. As the tribute, they had brought them here to be presented to the Virgin. I stroked the petals of the white roses and wondered if this was what I was meant to do with mine. But it didn't make sense. Tazni had given me specific instructions to give my roses to Mama. It was important that I did it because they were meant to transform her. I'm confused. I muttered to myself, please tell me what to do. Was there something more, something I forgot? The twins stirred beside me, but they kept their heads bowed and their eyes closed in prayer. I lifted my head, and the Virginita's eyes met mine. Shocked, I turned to the twins, but they were too engrossed in prayer to see what I was seeing. When I looked up again, the Virginita's gaze was fixed again, so I bowed my head and prayed for inspiration. I needed wisdom to honor the Visita's request. Juanita shook me a bit as I stood up. Let's go. Go ahead, I whispered. I'm not done yet. I must have knelt there for at least 15 more minutes before Mass started, and I joined Mama and my sisters at their seat. I listened to the sermon, and I ran through the procedures of Mass, only half involved, because I kept going back to the sight of those roses at the altar of the Virgin de Galupa, wondering what went wrong. Outside the parish, we spoke to neighbors and friends, but only momentarily, because Special Agent Gonzalez came over to offer us a ride. When Mama reminded him that we only lived 2 blocks away, they both laughed about it taking too long. It was weird, almost awkward, watching Special Agent Gonzalez and Mama acting like teenagers around each other. But it was also kind of cute. After we walked home, we spent the afternoon in the backyard. The girls helped weed out Mama's vegetable garden and picked fat zucchinis, ripe tomatoes, and spicy sriracha peppers, which they bundled together in delicate netting to give away as gifts to Mama's comrades. I spent my time planting the seeds Abula Jimenez had given me in a large ceramic pots. When I was done, I lined them up in a row along the edge of the back porch, where Mama said they'd get the most sunlight in the morning. In the evening, we worked in the kitchen, a group of almost grown young women talking and laughing with their mamas, cheerful and deliriously happy. We had polo con calaptas for dinner. The chicken and zucchini casserole was so comforting and so delicious that we stuffed ourselves until we almost couldn't move. Afterwards, the girls entertained themselves by playing Letita and watching Televage, the Spanish channel, while Mama and I cleaned the kitchen. We finally sat down with the girls to watch the reruns of the 1967 rendition of González Ceballos. By the time the final credits rolled, the old movie, we were more than ready for bed. Buenas noches, Velia and Delia said, pushing themselves off the couch and hugging Mama. Mama embraced the twins, then Peta, and finally Juanita. Bonitas, manitas. The girls all filed out of the living room and made their way to the bedrooms. I sat on my knees on the floor in front of the coffee table as I gathered the Laritas board and playing cards to put them back in their basket. One more game? Mama said. Just you and me. Okay, I said, ruffling through the basket to find my favorite board, the one of La Luna, the moon, in the right corner block. Which one do you want, Mama? You know which one, she said, her eyes twinkling, daring me to figure it out. I sort through the thin stack of boards, trying to remember if I ever knew which one was her favorite, but I couldn't think of it. I stopped to show her the board, the La Rose, in the corner block. Is it this one? The Visitas roses were still on my mind, only the solitary rose on the board was pink, not white, and there was no magical manifesting itself in the house or in Mama, and I worried that I had misused the great gift Tanzadas had given us. Come on, she said with a soft, patient gleam in her eyes. You know which one. I let off frustration sighed and offered her the Laritas board. No, I don't know. Why don't you tell me? Because I can't figure it out. I realized I sounded curt, but I couldn't help it. The whole situation with the roses was really bothering me. I didn't want to disappoint the Visitas. She'd given me the roses to give to Mama, and I failed to deliver them in time because somewhere along the line they had lost their magic. I'm sorry, I whispered, trying not to lose it in front of Mama. What's wrong, Cierta? Mama asked, leaning over to stroke my hair and lifting up my chin. Que pasa? What's going on with you tonight? I rubbed a telling tear off the corner of my left eye with the heel of my hand and looked away. I just can't figure it all out, I said. Before I could stop then, the shower of fat, ugly tears started rolling down my face. Can't figure what out? She asked, because I know this isn't about the litera. I clenched the wrong board in my hand. La Rosa, I said. I thought that was yours. I thought roses were your favorite flower. I thought roses always made things right. Mama pulled out the board of El Quichasas, the human heart, in the corner block of the basket and showed it to me. Oh, honey, this is my favorite one, she whispered. Then she sat on the floor beside me and hugged me, close to her. Roses are a beautiful thing. They are, but that's not what moves me. The most important thing in life are not items people can give us. No, the most important things in life is what's in your heart. So didn't you like the roses? I asked, trying to figure out why they had failed to transform her. Mama took my hand in hers, kissed it, and rubbed my knuckles with her thumb. No, I loved them. I really did. But it wasn't the roses that made my day. It was seeing your faces again, looking into your eyes and knowing that you still love your Mama. The love in your hearts fills mine. It's what keeps me going. The roses were nice and very much appreciated, but it was you and your sisters, my children, that I needed to hold. Without you, I would be nothing more than a ghost of a woman, a spirit wandering this earth with no purpose, no direction, un fantasma, with no one to love. Goosebumps popped up on my arms and chills ran down my spine, shaking me to the core. You mean like La Llorona? Mama crinkled her brow and looked at me like she wasn't quite sure what I was talking about. La Llorona, I suppose so. Yes. Oh my God, you're right, I exclaimed. I hauled myself up and out of her arms. Thank you, Mama. Thank you for loving us so much. I ran into the kitchen, plucked the roses from the vase, and headed for the front door. Odelia, hiatus, Mother called after me. Where are you going? I'm sorry, Mama, but I have to deliver these roses to the right person, I said, As I left the house, the screen door slammed itself shut behind me, and I yelled, "I'll be back soon, I promise."